New express entry draw on June 4 issues 500 PR invitations. Canada's immigration and labour policies are seeing major developments this June. From new express entry and OINP draws to wage hikes and tougher border measures, this video could impact thousands of hopeful migrants and workers, especially those from India. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. On June 4, 2025, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada announced its latest express entry draw of 2025 and second one this week. This round of invitations targeted express entry profiles with at least 6 months of experience in 37 eligible healthcare and social services occupations. The competitive comprehensive ranking system cutoff score of 504 in this draw highlights Canada's ongoing focus to address gaps in healthcare, but it is still not enough. Also on June 2, 2025, IRCC sent out 277 invitations to apply to candidates under the Provincial Nominee Program. The CRS cutoff score was 726. Full details of the express entry draw today and this week. The CRS cutoff score has been reduced by 6 points as compared to previous healthcare and social service occupations targeted by the draw on May 2. This reduced number of invitations in this and the latest PNP-focused draw aligns with Canada's 2025 to 2027 immigration levels plan, which emphasizes selective immigration to meet labor market demands. With a reduced permanent resident target of 395,000 for 2025, IRCC is prioritizing candidates with provincial nominations, Canadian work experience, and French language proficiency. Comparing CRS score distribution in the pool. Key observations. Overall pool growth, the express entry pool grew by 4,948 candidates, plus 2.0%, from 250,082 on May 13 to 255,030 on June 1, reflecting sustained interest in Canadian immigration despite policy shifts. Mid to high range growth, 501 to 600. The 501 to 600 range increased by 2,215 candidates, plus 9.9%, showing a strong rebound, possibly due to profile improvements, e.g., better language scores or education credentials, or redistribution from higher ranges after the removal of arranged employment points. Mid-range stability, 401 to 500. The 451 to 500 and 401 to 450 ranges saw modest growth, plus 1,589 and plus 1,395, respectively, with subranges increasing by 0.7% to 3.8%, indicating steady new entries or score enhancements. Low-range stability, 0 to 400. The 351 to 400 range remained nearly unchanged, plus 30, plus 0.1%, while the 301 to 350 and 0 to 300 ranges slightly declined, minus 1.8% and minus 1.7%, suggesting fewer low-scoring candidates entering or some profiles expiring. Implications: the growth in the 501 to 600 range and slight increases in the 401 to 500 ranges suggest a competitive pool, especially for category-based draws, e.g., CEC, French proficiency, or education. All the express entry draws in 2025. What's next for express entry? Analysts predict the next draw will potentially target CEC candidates with CRS cutoffs around 530 or French-speaking candidates with lower scores around 370 to 410. With no all-program draws in 2025, candidates without nominations or priority category eligibility may face tougher competition. For those dreaming of Canadian permanent residency, this draw is a reminder to align your profile with Canada's labor market needs. Visit the IRCC website to create or update your express entry profile and explore opportunities to fast-track your PR journey. Is 450 a good CRS score for express entry in 2025? In general, a CRS score of 510 or above is typically considered good for express entry, while in certain circumstances, scores of 450 may be sufficient if the candidate is eligible for a category-based round of invitation. You still have options, even though a score of less than 450 may be considered average or low. When was the last express entry draw? The previous express entry draw was on June 2, 2025, and issued 277 invitations to apply for permanent residency to candidates with a provincial nomination and a CRS score of 726 or above. 10 new Ontario OINP draws sent 3,719 permanent residency invitations. On June 3, 2025, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program made a significant stride in welcoming skilled professionals by issuing a whopping 3,719 invitations to apply for permanent residency through 10 targeted OINP draws. The good news is OINP has resumed these draws after a long pause since January 2025. These OINP draws targeted candidates with expression of interest profiles created with OINP under the Foreign Worker Stream, International Student Stream, and In-Demand Skills Stream. This video dives deep into the details of these draws, offering insights into the streams, eligibility criteria, targeted regions, and eligible occupations. Whether you're an aspiring immigrant, a policy enthusiast, or simply curious about Canada's immigration landscape, this comprehensive guide will provide everything you need to know about this monumental development. Overview of the OINP Employer Job Offer Streams. The OINP is one of Canada's provincial nominee programs, designed to attract skilled workers, entrepreneurs, and international students to meet the province's labor market and economic needs. The employer job offer streams are a key component of the OINP, allowing employers in Ontario to nominate foreign workers, international students, and individuals with in-demand skills for permanent residency, provided they have a valid job offer from an Ontario employer. The employer job offer streams are divided into three categories. 1. Foreign Worker Stream, for skilled workers with a job offer in a skilled occupation, NOC Skill Level 0, A, or B. 2. International Student Stream, for recent graduates from eligible Canadian post-secondary institutions with a job offer in Ontario. 3. In-Demand Skills Stream, for workers with specific skills in high-demand sectors, such as healthcare, construction, and agriculture. On June 3, 2025, the OINP conducted 10 targeted draws under these streams, issuing a total of 3,719 ITAs to candidates who met specific criteria, including those with job offers in Northern and Eastern Ontario, healthcare professionals, career development practitioners, and participants in the RADI pilot. Below, we break down each draw, including the number of invitations, score ranges, and targeted regions or occupations. Breakdown of the 10 OINP draws on June 3, 2025. The draws were strategically designed to address regional labor shortages, support economic development, and prioritize candidates in critical occupations. Here's a detailed look at each draw. 1. Foreign Worker Stream draws. The Foreign Worker Stream targets skilled workers with job offers in high-demand occupations. 3 draws were conducted under this stream. Northern Ontario targeted draw. Invitations issued, 391. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 56 and above. Notes, this draw targeted candidates with job offers in Northern Ontario. Candidates were required to be residing in Canada with a bachelor's degree or higher. Regional Economic Development through Immigration targeted draw. Invitations issued, 411. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 32 and above. Notes, this draw focused on candidates participating in the RADI pilot, a program aimed at fostering economic growth in targeted regions through immigration. Candidates needed to be residing in Canada. Career development practitioners and career counselors draw. Invitations issued, 5. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 45 and above. Notes, this highly specific draw targeted candidates with job offers under National Occupational Classification Code 41321, career development practitioners and career counselors, except education. Candidates were required to be residing in Canada. 2. International Student Stream draws. The International Student Stream targets recent graduates from eligible Canadian post-secondary institutions with job offers in Ontario. 4 draws were conducted under this stream. Eastern Ontario targeted draw. Invitations issued, 334. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 85 and above. Notes, this draw targeted candidates with job offers in Eastern Ontario. Candidates were required to be residing in Canada with a bachelor's degree or higher. Northern Ontario targeted draw. Invitations issued, 493. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 54 and above. Notes, this draw focused on candidates with job offers in Northern Ontario, aligning with the province's goal to bolster the workforce in less densely populated regions. Candidates needed a bachelor's degree or higher and had to be residing in Canada. Regional economic development through immigration targeted draw. Invitations issued, 363. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 60 and above. Notes: this draw targeted candidates participating in the RADI pilot, emphasizing economic development through immigration. Candidates were required to be residing in Canada. Healthcare occupations targeted draw. Invitations issued, 1,350. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 68 and above. Notes: this was the largest draw of the day, targeting candidates with job offers in priority healthcare occupations. Candidates needed to be residing in Canada and meet the specific NOC code requirements, detailed below. 3. In-demand skills stream draws. The in-demand skills stream targets workers with skills in high-demand sectors, such as healthcare and construction. 3 draws were conducted under this stream. Northern Ontario targeted draw. Invitations issued, 89. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 32 and above. Notes: this draw targeted candidates with job offers in Northern Ontario, focusing on in-demand skills to support regional growth. Candidates were required to be residing in Canada. Regional economic development through immigration targeted draw. Invitations issued, 69. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 23 and above. Notes: this draw supported the RADI pilot, targeting candidates with in-demand skills to drive economic development. Candidates needed to be residing in Canada. Healthcare occupations targeted draw. Invitations issued, 214. Date profiles created, June 3, 2024 to June 3, 2025. Score range, 34 and above. Notes: this draw targeted candidates with job offers in specific healthcare occupations, addressing critical shortages in Ontario's healthcare sector. Candidates were required to be residing in Canada. Full list of eligible healthcare occupations. A significant portion of the invitations, 1,564 in total, 1,350 under the International Student Stream and 214 under the In-Demand Skills Stream, were issued to candidates with job offers in priority healthcare occupations. These draws reflect Ontario's urgent need to address healthcare labor shortages, particularly in the wake of ongoing global health challenges and an aging population. Candidates under the foreign worker and international student streams needed a score of 68 and above and a job offer in one of the following national occupational classification codes. 1. NOC 31101, Specialists in Surgery. 2. NOC 31102, General Practitioners and Family Physicians. 3. NOC 31300, Nursing Coordinators and Supervisors. 4. NOC 31301, Registered Nurses and Registered Psychiatric Nurses. 5. NOC 31302, Nurse Practitioners. 1. NOC 31303, Physician Assistants, Midwives, and Allied Health Professionals. 2. NOC 32101, Licensed Practical Nurses. 3. NOC 33102, Nurse Aides, Orderlies, and Patient Service Associates. 1. NOC 44101, Home Support Workers, Housekeepers, and Related Occupations. Candidates under the In-Demand Skills Stream needed a score of 34 and above and a job offer in the following NOC code. NOC 44101, Home Support Workers, Housekeepers, and Related Occupations. These occupations span a wide range of roles critical to Ontario's healthcare system, from highly specialized positions like surgeons and general practitioners to essential support roles like nurse aides and home support workers. By prioritizing these occupations, Ontario is addressing immediate healthcare needs while ensuring long-term stability in the sector. Regional focus, Northern and Eastern Ontario. Ontario's immigration strategy places a strong emphasis on regional economic development, particularly in less populated areas like Northern and Eastern Ontario. These regions face unique challenges, including labor shortages and economic disparities compared to urban centers like Toronto and Ottawa. The OINP's draws on June 3, 2025, reflect a deliberate effort to attract skilled workers to these areas. Full list of regions in Northern Ontario. Northern Ontario includes census divisions of 1. Muskoka, 1. Haliburton, 2. Nipissing, 3. Parry Sound, 4. Manitoulin, 5. Sudbury, 1. Greater Sudbury/Grand Sudbury, 2. Temiskaming, 3. Cochrane, 4. Algoma, 5. Thunder Bay, 6. Rainy River, and 7. Kenora. A total of 973 invitations were issued across the 3 employer job offer streams, 391 under foreign worker, 493 under international student, and 89 under in-demand skills. These draws targeted candidates with job offers in the region and a bachelor's degree or higher, for foreign worker and international student streams. The focus on Northern Ontario aligns with the province's goal of promoting economic growth in rural and remote areas. Industries such as mining, forestry, and tourism are critical to the region's economy, and attracting skilled workers is essential for sustaining these sectors. Full list of regions in Eastern Ontario. Eastern Ontario includes census divisions of Ottawa, Leeds and Grenville, Lanark, Frontenac, Peterborough, Hastings, Stormont, Dundas and Glengarry, Renfrew, Kawartha Lakes, Northumberland, Prescott and Russell, Lennox and Addington, and Prince Edward. These regions were the focus of a single draw under the International Student Stream, issuing 334 invitations. Candidates needed a score of 85 and above, a job offer in the region, and a bachelor's degree or higher. Eastern Ontario's economy is diverse, with sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and technology playing significant roles. By targeting international students with job offers in this region, the OINP is fostering a pipeline of young, educated professionals to drive innovation and growth. What is regional economic development through immigration pilot? The RADI pilot, featured in 3 of the draws, 411 under foreign worker, 363 under international student, and 69 under in-demand skills, is a strategic initiative to support economic development in targeted regions. A total of 843 invitations were issued to candidates participating in this pilot, emphasizing Ontario's commitment to addressing regional labor market needs. The RADI pilot focuses on attracting skilled workers to regions outside of the Greater Toronto Area, where economic disparities and labor shortages are more pronounced. By offering pathways to permanent residency, the pilot encourages candidates to settle in these areas, contributing to local economies and community development. How to apply for the OINP employer job offer streams. If you received an invitation to apply on June 3, 2025, here's how to proceed. Review eligibility requirements. Visit the OINP employer job offer stream page corresponding to your stream, foreign worker, international student, or in-demand skills, to ensure you meet all criteria, including having a valid job offer from an Ontario employer. Prepare mandatory documents. Consult the OINP document checklist to gather all required documents, including the updated application for approval of employment position, employer form. Note that as of April 10, 2024, applications with outdated forms will be returned as incomplete, with fees refunded. Log into the OINP e-filing portal, access the portal and click on the newly created file number with the prefix JOXX. Your application file number is different from your expression of inter's file number, which will appear grayed out. This is not an error. Submit your application. Follow the portal's instructions to submit your application. Ensure all documents are complete and accurate to avoid delays or rejections. If you received an invitation, there's no need to contact the OINP directly. The program will process your application based on the information provided. Why these draws matter: Ontario's immigration strategy. The issuance of 3,719 ITAs on June 3, 2025, underscores Ontario's proactive approach to immigration as a tool for economic growth and labor market stability. By targeting specific regions, occupations, and programs like RADI, the OINP is addressing both immediate and long-term needs. Addressing labor shortages. The focus on healthcare occupations, with 1,564 invitations, highlights Ontario's commitment to strengthening its healthcare system. Roles like registered nurses, nurse practitioners, and home support workers are critical to meeting the needs of an aging population and addressing post-pandemic challenges. Promoting regional development. By prioritizing Northern and Eastern Ontario, the OINP is fostering balanced economic growth across the province. These regions often struggle to attract and retain skilled workers, and the targeted draws aim to reverse this trend. Supporting economic recovery. The RADI pilot and other draws reflect Ontario's focus on economic recovery and resilience. By attracting skilled workers and international students, the province is building a robust workforce to drive innovation and competitiveness. Streamlining immigration pathways. The employer job offer streams simplify the process for candidates with job offers, ensuring that employers can quickly fill critical roles while offering immigrants a clear path to permanent residency. Tips for aspiring applicants for permanent residency. If you're considering applying to the OINP employer job offer streams, here are some tips to increase your chances of success. Secure a valid job offer. A job offer from an Ontario employer is mandatory. Ensure the job offer meets the stream's requirements, including being in an eligible occupation and region. Update your EOI profile. Regularly update your expression of interest profile in the OINP e-filing portal to reflect your current qualifications, work experience, and job offer details. Meet the score threshold. Each draw has a specific score range. Focus on improving factors that contribute to your score, such as education, work experience, and language proficiency. Use the updated employer form. As of April 10, 2024, all applications must include the updated application for approval of employment position, employer form. Double-check that your employer submits the correct form to avoid application rejections. Seek professional guidance. Immigration consultants or lawyers can provide valuable advice on navigating the OINP process, ensuring your application is complete and competitive. The Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program's issuance of 3,719 invitations to apply on June 3, 2025, marks a significant milestone in the province's immigration strategy. By targeting healthcare professionals, career development practitioners, and candidates in Northern and Eastern Ontario, as well as those in the Rady pilot, the OINP is addressing critical labor shortages while fostering economic growth in underserved regions. For aspiring immigrants, these draws offer a clear pathway to permanent residency, provided they meet the eligibility criteria and submit complete applications. As Ontario continues to position itself as a global hub for talent and innovation, these draws highlight the province's commitment to building a diverse, skilled, and resilient workforce. Whether you're an immigration hopeful, an employer, or simply curious about Canada's immigration landscape, this development is a testament to the power of strategic immigration policies in shaping a brighter future. New minimum wage in British Columbia effective June 2025. A new minimum wage increase in British Columbia comes into effect on June 1, 2025, and the BC will now have the highest minimum wage as compared to other provinces. The general minimum wage will rise from $17.40 to $17.85 per hour, marking a 2.6% increase. Special BC minimum wages will also increase for liquor servers, live-in camp leaders, live-in home support workers, and resident caretakers. While this change offers some relief amid ongoing inflation pressures, it has sparked a broader conversation about whether this modest hike is enough to address the province's soaring cost of living. With the living wage in Metro Vancouver pegged at $27.05 per hour, the gap between minimum and living wages remains a contentious issue. This video explores the details of the new minimum wage, its implications for workers and businesses, the ongoing living wage debate, and the broader economic context in British Columbia. Understanding new minimum wage in British Columbia. Starting June 1, 2025, the increase in minimum wage applies to most employees, whether they are paid hourly, on a salary, by commission, or through incentive-based systems. Employers are required to ensure that all employees earn at least the equivalent of the minimum wage for hours worked, topping up payments if necessary. This incremental raise follows a consistent pattern of annual adjustments in British Columbia. Here's a look at the minimum wage progression over recent years. June 1, 2025, $17.85 per hour. June 1, 2024, $17.40 per hour. June 1, 2023, $16.75 per hour. June 1, 2022, $15.65 per hour. June 1, 2021, $15.20 per hour. June 1, 2020, $14.60 per hour. June 1, 2019, $13.85 per hour. The steady increases demonstrate British Columbia's commitment to supporting low-wage workers, but critics argue that the pace of these adjustments is too slow to keep up with the province's rising cost of living. Specific wage rates also increase for specialized roles. In addition to the general minimum wage, specific categories of workers will see corresponding increases. Liquor servers. Liquor servers employees who primarily serve food or drink and regularly serve liquor in licensed premises will also see their minimum wage rise to $17.85 per hour as of June 1, 2025. This aligns with the general minimum wage, a policy shift that began in 2021 to eliminate the lower, tipped wage, previously applied to servers. The change ensures that tips and gratuities supplement, rather than substitute, a server's base wage. Historical rates for liquor servers include June 1, 2025, $17.85 per hour. June 1st, 2024, $17.40 per hour. June 1st, 2023, $16.75 per hour. June 1st, 2022, $15.65 per hour. June 1st, 2021, $15.20 per hour. June 1st, 2020, $13.95 per hour. June 1st, 2019, $12.70 per hour. Live-in camp leaders. Live-in camp leaders, who are paid a daily rate, will see their wages increase to $142.61 per day or per day worked starting June 1st, 2025, up from $138.93 in 2024. This adjustment continues to reflect the unique nature of their work, which often involves extended hours and on-site responsibilities. Past rates include: June 1st, 2025, $142.61. June 1st, 2024, $138.93. June 1st, 2023, $133.69. June 1st, 2022, $125.06. June 1st, 2021, $121.65. June 1st, 2020, $116.86. June 1st, 2019, $110.87. Live-in home support workers. Live-in home support workers, who provide care in clients' homes, will earn $133.05 per day or per day worked as of June 1st, 2025, up from $129.62 in 2024. This role is critical in supporting vulnerable populations, and the wage increase aims to recognize their contributions. Previous rates include: June 1st, 2025, $133.05. June 1st, 2024, $129.62. June 1st, 2023, $124.73. Prior to June 1st, 2023, $116.68. Resident caretakers. Resident caretakers, responsible for managing residential buildings, are paid a monthly wage based on the number of suites in the building. For buildings with 9 to 60 suites, the minimum wage will be $1,069.36 per month plus $42.84 per suite starting June 1st, 2025. For buildings with 61 or more suites, the minimum wage will be $3,642.51 per month. These rates reflect a 2.6% increase from 2024. Historical rates for caretakers in buildings with 9 to 60 suites include: June 1st, 2025, $1,069.36 per month plus $42.84 per suite. June 1st, 2024, $1,041.80 per month plus $41.74 per suite. June 1st, 2023, $1,002.53 per month plus $40.17 per suite. June 1st, 2022, $937.82 per month plus $37.58 per suite. June 1st, 2021, $912.28 per month plus $36.56 per suite. For buildings with 61 plus suites. June 1st, 2025, $3,642.51 per month. June 1st, 2024, $3,548.63 per month. June 1st, 2023, $3,414.85 per month. June 1st, 2022, $3,194.43 per month. June 1st, 2021, $3,107.42 per month. Piece rates for hand-harvested crops. On December 31st, 2025, minimum piece rates for 15 hand-harvested crops will also increase by 2.6%. These rates apply to agricultural workers who are paid based on the volume of crops they harvest, such as berries, mushrooms, or tree fruits. This adjustment ensures that piece rate workers see a proportional wage increase in line with other minimum wage earners. The bigger picture: why the minimum wage matters. The 2.6% minimum wage increase is designed to help low-wage workers keep pace with inflation, which has been a persistent challenge in British Columbia. According to Statistics Canada, the Consumer Price Index in British Columbia rose by approximately 2.4% in 2024, driven by increases in housing, food, and transportation costs. While the 2.6% wage hike slightly outpaces inflation, Critics argue that it does little to address the cumulative impact of years of rising costs. For low-wage workers, every cent counts. A worker earning the minimum wage of $17.40 per hour in 2024, working 35 hours per week, earns approximately $31,668 annually before taxes. With the new wage of $17.85, that annual income rises to $32,487, a difference of $819 per year. While this increase can help cover small expenses, such as a month's worth of groceries or a utility bill, it falls short of addressing larger systemic issues like housing affordability. The living wage debate, $17.85 versus $27.05. While the minimum wage increase is a step in the right direction, it has reignited discussions about the concept of a living wage, the hourly rate needed for a worker to cover basic necessities without relying on government assistance or charity. According to Living Wage for Families BC, the living wage in Metro Vancouver for 2024 is $27.05 per hour, based on a 35-hour workweek. This figure accounts for essentials such as housing, rent for a modest one-bedroom apartment; food, a nutritious diet for a family of 4; transportation, public transit or a used vehicle; childcare, costs for young children; savings, a small buffer for emergencies or modest recreation. The gap between the new minimum wage of $17.85 and the living wage of $27.05 is stark. A minimum wage worker would need to work approximately 53 hours per week, equivalent to 1.5 full-time jobs, to earn the equivalent of a living wage. For single parents, students, or individuals with health challenges, this workload is often unattainable. No matter where they live, people should be able to afford a decent life, states Living Wage for Families BC on its website. There are jobs that need to be done in every community, and therefore people need homes, services, and a good quality of life in every community. The organization argues that a living wage is essential for ensuring workers can thrive, not just survive, and that employers have a responsibility to pay wages that reflect the true cost of living. Regional variations in cost of living. The cost of living in British Columbia varies significantly by region. In Metro Vancouver, where housing costs are among the highest in Canada, the living wage is particularly challenging to achieve. According to the Canadian Real Estate Association, the average home price in Greater Vancouver was approximately $1.3 million in 2024, with rental prices for a one-bedroom apartment averaging $2,500 per month. For a minimum wage worker, rent alone could consume nearly 70% of their income, leaving little for other essentials. In contrast, rural areas like the Kootenays or northern BC may have lower housing costs, but other expenses, such as transportation, can be higher due to limited public transit options. For example, a worker in a rural community may need to maintain a vehicle to commute to work, adding fuel, insurance, and maintenance costs to their budget. These regional variations complicate efforts to establish a one-size-fits-all wage policy, but they also highlight the need for targeted solutions to address affordability challenges. Impacts on workers. For the approximately 6% of British Columbia's workforce earning minimum wage, roughly 150,000 workers, according to the BC government, the $17.85 hourly rate offers a modest boost. For a full-time worker, the 45% increase translates to an additional $936 per year, based on a 40-hour workweek. This extra income could cover a month of groceries, a utility bill, or a small emergency expense, but it's unlikely to significantly improve financial stability. Low-wage workers in industries like retail, hospitality, and agriculture are among those most affected by the increase. For example, a liquor server in Vancouver who relies on tips to supplement their income will now have a higher base wage, potentially reducing their dependence on unpredictable gratuities. Similarly, agricultural workers harvesting crops like blueberries or cherries will see their piece rates rise, offering a small but meaningful increase in earnings during the harvest season. However, the increase is less impactful for workers in high-cost areas like Metro Vancouver, where the living wage remains out of reach. For single parents or young workers, the gap between the minimum wage and the cost of living often forces difficult choices, such as cutting back on essentials or taking on additional jobs. The living wage movement, a call for change. A living wage is defined as the hourly rate a worker needs to earn to cover basic expenses, support a family, and maintain a modest standard of living without relying on government subsidies or charity. Unlike the minimum wage, which is set by the government and applies universally, a living wage is calculated based on local cost of living data and varies by region. In British Columbia, Living Wage for Families BC calculates living wages for various communities, with Metro Vancouver's 2024 rate set at $27.05 per hour. This figure is based on a family of 4, 2 parents working full-time and 2 young children, and includes costs for housing, food, transportation, childcare, healthcare, and a small amount for savings or emergencies. The $9.20 gap between the 2025 minimum wage, $17.85, and the Metro Vancouver living wage, $27.05, has significant implications for workers and communities. For minimum wage earners, the inability to afford basic necessities can lead to financial stress, reliance on food banks, or housing instability. In 2024, the Greater Vancouver Food Bank reported a 20% increase in demand, with many clients citing low wages as a primary reason for seeking assistance. The gap also has broader societal impacts. Workers earning below a living wage may struggle to access education, healthcare, or opportunities for upward mobility, perpetuating cycles of poverty. Additionally, low wages can exacerbate labor shortages, as workers seek higher-paying opportunities in other provinces or industries. Living Wage for Families BC and other advocacy groups argue that employers both public and private should voluntarily adopt living wage policies. Over 200 employers in British Columbia, including municipalities, non-profits, and small businesses, have been certified as living wage employers, committing to pay their staff and contractors at least the local living wage. These employers report benefits such as improved employee morale, reduced turnover, and enhanced community reputation. However, critics of the living wage movement, including some business groups, argue that mandating a living wage could lead to job losses, particularly in small businesses or industries with thin profit margins. They also point out that a one-size-fits-all living wage ignores regional cost of living differences and could disproportionately affect rural employers. British Columbia minimum wage comparison with other provinces. British Columbia's minimum wage of $17.85 will remain the highest among Canadian provinces as of June 1, 2025. For comparison, Ontario minimum wage, $17.20 per hour, as of October 2024, and new Ontario minimum wage increase will come into effect in October 2025 at $17.60 per hour. Alberta, $15 per hour. Quebec minimum wage increased to $16.10 from $15.75 per hour on May 1, 2025. Manitoba minimum wage is $15.80 per hour and will increase to $16 per hour in October 2025. While BC leads the pack, its high cost of living means that the purchasing power of its minimum wage is less impressive. A 2024 study by the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives found that BC's minimum wage covers only 66% of the living wage in Metro Vancouver, compared to 80% in some lower-cost provinces like Manitoba. The new minimum wage of $17.85 per hour in British Columbia, effective June 1, 2025, offers a modest boost for low-wage workers, from liquor servers to agricultural laborers. However, the persistent gap between the minimum wage and the living wage $27.05 in Metro Vancouver underscores the challenges of achieving financial stability in one of Canada's most expensive provinces. While the increase aligns with inflation, it falls short of addressing the deeper affordability crisis facing workers. For businesses, the wage hike presents both challenges and opportunities, requiring careful navigation to balance costs and competitiveness. As the living wage movement gains traction and workers amplify their voices online, British Columbia faces a critical moment in redefining what it means to earn a fair wage. When does minimum wage go up in BC? The minimum wage in British Columbia will increase on June 1, 2025 to $17.85 per hour. Additionally, piece rates for hand-harvested crops will rise by 2.6% on December 31, 2025. What will BC minimum wage be in 2025? The minimum wage in British Columbia will be $17.85 per hour starting June 1, 2025, for most employees, including liquor servers, with specific daily or monthly rates for live-in camp leaders, home support workers, and resident caretakers. How many hours is full-time in BC? In British Columbia, full-time employment is typically considered 35 to 40 hours per week, though this can vary by employer and industry. The Employment Standards Act does not strictly define full-time hours but sets standards for overtime after 40 hours per week. Can you live off minimum wage in BC? Living off the minimum wage of $17.85 per hour in BC is challenging, especially in high-cost areas like Metro Vancouver, where the 2024 living wage is $27.05. A full-time minimum wage worker earns about $32,487 annually, which often falls short of covering rent, food, and other essentials. What is the lowest minimum wage in Canada? As of 2025, the lowest minimum wage in Canada is in Saskatchewan and Alberta at $15 per hour. Is BC minimum wage going up in 2025? Yes, the minimum wage in British Columbia will increase on June 1, 2025, from $17.40 to $17.85 per hour, a 2.6% rise. Canada's Strong Border Act will hit Indian asylum seekers. Canada introduced the Strong Borders Act to curb rising asylum claims and strengthen border security against fentanyl trafficking. Last year, over 20,000 asylum claims were filed by international students, and Indians were among the cohort with the highest number of such claims. The Canadian government introduced legislation aimed at curbing asylum claims and streamlining the immigration process while also cracking down on cross-border fentanyl trafficking. Last year, over 20,245 asylum claims were filed by international students. The countries with the most asylum claims filed by students were India and Nigeria, according to federal immigration data obtained by Global News. A total of 171,850 claims were filed last year, according to federal data. Over 32,000 claims were filed by Indians. Canada is witnessing a surge in asylum claims from international students, with 132,525 claims filed in the first 9 months of 2024. Of these, international students filed 13,660 claims. The highest number of asylum claimants holding study permits originated in India, 2,290, and Nigeria, 1,990. To safeguard the integrity of the asylum system, the Strong Borders Act stipulates that claims submitted more than a year after arriving in Canada, after June 24, 2020, will not be forwarded to the Immigration and Refugee Board. This would apply to anyone, including students and temporary residents, regardless of whether they left the country and returned, the proposed bill stated. Asylum claims from people who enter Canada from the United States along the land border between ports of entry and make a claim after 14 days would not be referred to the IRB, according to the bill. The bill ensures that claims are only decided by the IRB while the claimant is physically present in Canada. It gives Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada the authority to share client information such as identity, status, and immigration documentation with federal, provincial, and territorial partners through signed information sharing agreements. The bill also grants IRCC the authority to take immediate action on immigration documents. This includes the power to cancel, suspend, or amend groups of immigration documents, pause the acceptance of new applications, and halt or cancel the processing of applications already in the system. Bill provides tools to tackle secure Canada borders, Canadian Minister. Canadian Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangari said the bill is meant to combat crime and protect borders. This new legislation will ensure Canada has the right tools to keep our border secure, combat transnational organized crime and fentanyl, and disrupt illicit financing, Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangari told reporters in Ottawa after tabling the legislation. The bill would also give the Canadian Coast Guard expanded powers to conduct security patrols and collect and share information for security purposes, but does not restore the port policing system that was eliminated in the 1990s, Global News reported. Indian students top Canada asylum seekers list. The newly published data indicates that the number of asylum claims by foreign students could be even higher in 2025. In the first 3 months of the year, international students filed 5,500 asylum claims, a 22% increase from the same period last year, Global News reported. According to the Indian High Commission in Canada in 2024, India is the largest source of foreign students, with an estimated 427,000 Indian students studying in the North American country. Last month, study permit approvals for Indians saw a 31% decline in the first quarter of 2025, according to the recent set of data from Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. Over 30,000 permits were issued to Indian students in the first quarter of 2025, against 44,295 granted in the corresponding quarter of 2024. As Canada tightens its border laws while expanding pathways for permanent residency and raising minimum wages, aspiring immigrants and foreign workers should stay alert and informed. These changes reflect both opportunity and new challenges ahead. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.